Nickelodeon, the network that defined a generation of kids, and let's be real, probably shaped a few childhoods along the way. From the slime-filled antics of Double Dare to the unforgettable adventures of Rugrats and SpongeBob SquarePants, Nickelodeon wasn't just a channel, it was a cultural phenomenon.
So whether you grew up glued to the TV with a bowl of cereal or catching reruns long enough after the channel's heyday, or heading to Nickelodeon Studios, there's no denying it had a huge impact on our generation.
Welcome back to Everpop. Let's get into it. So, Nickelodeon Studios was a production studio and theme park attraction run by Nickelodeon at Universal Studios Florida. It consisted of Building 17, Soundstage 18, and 19. It opened on June 7th, 1990, and closed on April 30th, 2005. It was a studio tour and working production studio. Mary, have you ever done the Nickelodeon studio tour at all?
No, and I'm devastated I never got to.
Yeah, it was pretty fun actually. I enjoyed myself every time I went there. I think I only went there 2 times, but it was pretty neat. It was pretty neat.
It sounds like it would be because like the combination of it being a production studio and a theme park, like that's kind of wild. I would have loved to see that.
Well, you know what? It's actually funny because we talked about Disney Hollywood Studios, which used to be known as Disney MGM Studios, and because actually Nickelodeon went to Disney at first, to try to do the working production studio in Florida and everything, but Nickelodeon they ultimately went with Universal Studios Florida, and let's just give you a little background on that. In November of 1988, Nickelodeon contracted space, with Universal Studios Florida for its production studio because, before, and we'll talk about the history of Nickelodeon, soon, but, Nickelodeon Studios, Nickelodeon, like the actual channel, it wasn't what, we have today. It was actually
it was much different.
Yeah, it was actually a struggling channel. It actually lost money, for whoever is owned by. I probably should know that, but
whoops, we didn't do our research.
I know, whoopsie. I want to say at this time it was owned by Viacom, who owned MTV. It was actually Nickelodeon was like just under the MTV networks in general and everything. But the reason why Nickelodeon went with Universal is because Universal offered them a pretty sweet deal. It was a custom-built studio at no expense and rent-free production.
That's literally insane.
I know, right? That's pretty good. And it was like a 13-year agreement, so it was pretty good. But also, Florida is a right-to-work state. You know what
sure
that
is.
Yeah, you know what that means, Mary.
I
right?
sure do.
Yeah, but for our people who don't know what a right-to-work state is, it's basically like producers can just hire cheap labor. So, like actors and crew members and stuff, they got unions and stuff because God bless unions and everything. But, producers can hire non-union people. And like I said, they don't.
And they did.
And they did. Yeah, they did. So also the contract stipulated that Nick had to promote Universal Studios Florida on air at least 1,000 times per year.
And they did.
Oh.
You know how I know?
How you know?
Because I saw that commercial on the channel all of the time.
Yeah, it really made you want to go to Universal Studios
Florida.
Florida.
I really did.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to go to Universal Studios Florida. It was very convincing. Like after all the game shows, and we'll get into the game shows in a little bit, is a filmed live in Nickelodeon Studios Florida. And I was like, oh, that's where I want to go.
I would always watch the people in the audience and think like, man, they are so lucky to be there.
Oh yeah, it was pretty good. And so basically, it was 2 sound stages, and it was an adjacent 40,000 square feet video production facilities, basically Building 17. And it was within the production central area of Universal Studios Florida. And actually, the first Nickelodeon productions filmed, at Universal Studios Florida was Super Sloppy Double Dare and Think Fast. They were being filmed on Soundstage 21 because Nick Studios was still being constructed at that point. But Nickelodeon Studios opening day. It was broadcast live from the studio on Nickelodeon on June 7th, 1990. It was hosted by Mark Summers of Super Sloppy Double Dare, and the event was announced by John Harvey of Super Sloppy Double Dare, too.
Which was an incredible show.
Oh, I freaking love Double Dare.
Double
so
Dare,
much.
in my opinion, is something I would still watch today for hours.
Yeah, for hours.
I love Double Dare.
Double Dare is great.
I could not get enough.
I know. It was like probably, I hate to say this, but it is one of the greatest game shows
It is.
ever
Why do you hate
invented.
to say that?
Well, because like, I say that it makes me sound like, I don't know, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, maybe I have no taste if I think that Double Dare is one of the greatest.
I think it's one of the great. I don't care if we have taste or not. I stand with you. We stand firm on this podcast.
Yeah.
That Double Dare is one of the greatest game shows of all time. We said what we said. We said it with our whole chest, and we meant it.
Yeah, I mean, it is great. But on Double Dare, you know, they had a lot of people there.
Oh, a ton.
Oh, yeah. So many celebrities. Mary, and like a lot of celebrities, though. But I'm afraid I don't know too many of these celebrities. You had Andrea Elson, Brooke Feast, Danny Ponch, Gerald Christopher, Jane Seymour, Kelly Martin, Leslie. Oh, Linda Blair. I know her.
Linda Blair.
Yeah, I know her. Will Wheaton. Oh, Star Trek fame.
You know Will Wheaton.
Yeah, I know Will Wheaton. Yeah.
We know
okay.
Will. Will Wheaton.
Yeah. Will Wheaton. Wheaton.
Wheaton. We know him.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, Will Wheaton. Hope you heard us.
Yeah, and let's see. Oh, Steven Spielberg was there. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think there were a lot of others, too.
Yeah. Oh, and Bill Cosby.
If we had the funding to make cricket sounds right there, we would have. I'm not sure we needed to mention.
And there are performances by Kid and Play. I remember Kid and Play. Perfect Gentleman and the Cover Girls. I gotta be honest, Mary, I don't know like 80% of those people.
Oh, we should really work on that for you, honey.
He does.
You're doing your best.
I know Spielberg and Linda Blair and unfortunately Bill Cosby, but...
And you know, Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton. Say it 5 times fast.
Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton. Wheaton. I know, Mary's just laughing her ass off.
I can't
while I'm trying to pronounce like Will Wheaton.
Will-
I was like,
Will
maybe we'll
Wheaton.
do a freaking Star Trek show so I can just butcher
Oh my
Will
God.
Wheaton's name over and over again.
One day, Will Wheaton's going to be like, why is this low podcast with, like, you know, why are they talking about me? What are they doing?
I don't know. Will, you didn't do anything. You're fine. You're fine. But basically, it was a 45-minute tour, and it took guests upstairs through the control room. Had a viewing area where you could see sound stages, 18 and
Ooh.
19. You went downstairs through wardrobe department, and you went through the GAC kitchen. And the tour concluded in Building 17's large audition room. I wish I could get more, knowledge about the tour, folks. But to be perfectly honest with you, that was, let's see, I'm trying to think when I went to Nickelodeon Studios. It was probably like maybe 1998 when I went.
That's wild.
I know. And even then, they weren't filming as much stuff, and I'll get into that later too. So it was really cool going inside Nickelodeon Studios. I'm just afraid I really can't remember too much about it. It was like, and I know that's very upsetting for this podcast.
I mean, a little.
A little bit.
I was kind of counting on you for that information, John.
I know. I'm just, I'm really, really dropping the ball here. But
My inner child is sad.
I know. And we didn't carry the video camera with us, so I don't even know if they
It was
allowed.
different times.
Yeah, it was different times. I mean, maybe they allowed you to carry a video camera, but I just don't remember. I mean,
But who was carrying? Well, I don't know. I guess there were a lot of rich people who did the tour.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of rich people who do the tour. Yeah. Also, folks, I don't know if I said this earlier, but yeah, I don't know, completely unrelated. There was a Hard Rock Cafe inside Universal
This
Studios
was
Florida.
completely unrelated.
Completely. I don't know. That just popped in my head for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know why I said that. But anyway, there's also the Slime Geyser, too. Also known as the Gak Geyser in front of the studio. And it was pretty cool because it was basically a big ass fountain and would erupt with green colored water every 10 minutes.
I have to say, I loved the slime.
Yeah, I think every kid loved the slime. I wanted to get slimed when I was a kid.
Yeah, who didn't want to get slimed when you were a kid? It was so cool.
Exactly.
Even at oh my gosh, John, help me think of it. The award show on Nickelodeon. What was it?
Oh, the Kids' Choice Awards?
Yeah, Kids' Choice Awards.
Yeah.
I struggled.
No, it's
like
fine.
They would slime the celebrities, and I'd always be like, "Oh, I'm so jealous."
I know. I want to get slimed so bad. I'm just like, when you're a kid, just like, I think your ultimate goal was to get slimed.
Yeah, it was.
Mary, I still want to get slimed, to be honest with you.
Let's get slimed. Let's do it.
I know.
How do we do that as adults?
I don't know how you do that.
Do we just make a big thing of slime and throw it at each other?
I guess. I don't know what that stuff is made of, actually.
Well, I'd assume it's just like normal slime, like the kids have.
Maybe?
But like buckets of it is the problem.
I guess. I know this is a specific recipe, but...
I'm going to find the recipe.
Yes.
And I'm going to slime you this summer. It's going to be great.
Please do. But anyway, one of the interesting things was, like, there's a Nickelodeon time capsule that was buried near the slime geyser.
What?
Yeah. And it was on April 30th, 1992, and it was broadcast live on Nickelodeon, hosted by Mike O'Malley of Get the Picture, which was one of the Nickelodeon shows, Joey Lawrence of Blossom. Wow, that takes me back.
Wow.
And an appearance by Dr. Emmett Brown of Back to the Future the Ride. It wasn't actually...
Back to the Future Ride.
It was not Christopher Lloyd, though. So, but anyway, it contains the items that were deemed important to the children in 1992, voted on by Nickelodeon viewers. Mary, do you want to take a guess on what some of the items were?
Okay, well, if we're thinking... So I was 1 year old, right?
Right.
But I would say probably like Barbies, baseball cards, or baseball maybe? Like an actual baseball, you think? Something like that.
Yeah, you're right.
The Nickelodeon magazine.
Yeah.
Maybe like a skateboard, a VHS copy of Back to the Future for sure.
Yeah.
And maybe even like a camcorder?
Yeah. You did a pretty good job.
Hey!
Let me tell you what some of the things were.
Okay.
Like I said, you said Barbie doll, baseball,
Ooh.
comic book,
Ooh.
and you had some books in there. So it was an endangered species book,
Yikes.
history book, phone book.
A phone book? Wow!
Freaking phone book.
Jesus, we're old.
A TV guide.
A TV guide.
Yeah. That's great, isn't it? A world atlas.
And I bet that still says Gulf of America or Gulf of Mexico on it instead of Gulf of America.
Probably. Bubblegum. An MC Hammer CD.
Yikes.
I know, right? Stop. Hammer time. A Michael Jackson CD, which... yeah. No, Shimon. So I'm guessing that's probably Dangerous, his album from 1990. Probably. A hat featuring the catchphrase of Joey Lawrence. I have no idea what Joey Lawrence's catchphrase was.
I don't either.
Okay. News reports about the 1991 Soviet coup attempt, the dissolution of the Soviet Union, the AIDS crisis, thanks
Desert
Reagan.
Storm, maybe.
Yeah, Desert Storm, yeah. GAC. Nickelodeon's GAC. Mm-hmm. Like you said, Nickelodeon magazine. A Game Boy.
A Game Boy.
Yeah. Pencils.
Why pencils? That seems stupid.
I don't know.
That did not offer any more insight to why pencils.
I don't know. It's a pencil.
Okay, we'll move on.
Okay. Photos of things that are too big to fit inside. So bicycles, cars, celebrities, planes, politicians, trains. Planes, trains, automobiles.
Okay, John Candy.
A piece of the Berlin Wall. And folks, remember our City Walk episode? I told you there is a slate of the Berlin Wall next to Hard Rock Cafe. So go check that out. Don't be like my wife and stepson and just say, embrace it. It's history. Anyway, Reebok pump sneakers. Wow.
Wow, we're really old. I hate this.
We are old. My God.
Oh, I hate this.
I know. Rollerblades. You said skateboards.
Yeah.
T-shirt featuring Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, I loved Ren and Stimpy.
I did too. We'll talk more about Ren and Stimpy on our episode of Nickelodeon. VHS copies, you said Back to the Future and Home Alone.
Oh, that makes sense.
And a tape of the event and the camcorder used to film it.
That's wild.
I know, right? Well, like I said, that time capsule was, it was buried in 1992, but it was eventually removed, and we'll get to that in a minute, actually. But, I want to say, like, some of the shows that were actually filmed there.
Okay.
So, these aren't all the shows that were filmed there, but, there's some of them, though.
Can I guess some?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so we know for sure Double Dare.
Of course.
What about Figure It Out?
Yeah, that was there.
Okay. Keenan and Kel?
Yep.
Okay. This is a stretch, but Gullah Gullah Island.
Yep.
That was just like, by the way, one of my favorite shows when I was little.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
I loved Gullah Gullah Island. It was my shit.
Gullah Island.
I watched that when I was sick, when I was happy, when I was sad. I loved Gullah Gullah Island.
No, it was great, yeah.
What else was filmed there, John?
So, like you said, Double Dare was there. They had so many iterations of Double Dare. The Family Double Dare, Super Sloppy Double Dare.
It was all good.
Yeah, Double Dare 2000.
It was all good.
It was good. Nick Arcade. Do you remember Nick Arcade?
I do.
Yeah, it was great. I really like Nick Arcade.
Me too.
Awesome. They were playing, arcade games and competition with each other. It was pretty good. That was on for like 91 to 92.
Oh, wow. Only a year?
Well, yeah, about a couple years.
Okay.
Yeah. Clarissa Explains It All.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was quite the show. What Would You Do?
that was a good one.
That was also hosted by Mark Summers too. Roundhouse.
Say it right.
I don't. Roundhouse.
Yeah, Roundhouse.
I actually don't remember Roundhouse. I know that was one of the shows that people liked, but I couldn't tell you anything about Roundhouse.
Me either.
Nickelodeon Guts.
Okay.
That was that sports themed one. Wienerville.
Okay.
That was the one with the puppets and stuff. It was.
I don't remember that.
It wasn't very.
Is this a fever dream?
No, I mean watching it felt like a fever dream. Yes, but it is real, and I know people know this. Legends of the Hidden Temple.
That's such a good one.
It is.
Also a great game show.
It was. Those kids could not put that monkey together though, because
they could never figure it out.
No, because there's only 3 pieces. I have no idea why the kids had so much trouble, but I don't know. It's easy to say if you're watching from home.
Yeah, when you're in the midst of the crisis, it probably feels harder than it is.
Yeah. My Brother and Me, which was a black sitcom, all that.
I love all that.
Just seasons 1 and 2 though, and we'll get into the reason why. Allegra's Window. You remember that?
It sounds familiar, but I'm having trouble picturing it.
Yeah, it was one of the shows more leaning towards side of education, like Gullah Gullah Island, but
Gullah Gullah Island is the shit.
It was good. The Mystery Files of Shelby Woo. Yeah. Keenan and Kel. Mm-hmm. And like you said, Figured It Out. Nickelodeon Gas. Nickelodeon Games and Sports. I said Double Dare 2000. Mm-hmm. Noah Knows Best.
Yikes.
Taina Season 1. Mm-hmm. Slime Time Live.
I loved that show.
It was great. And Nickelodeon Splat.
So good.
Now, there are a couple others filmed there, but I think I got, basically the most popular ones.
And I want to circle back to something.
Yeah, sure.
When you would do the tours, is it true or false that kids could play certain games to see if they could, win a chance to be on one of the shows?
If I remember correctly, I think you could do that. I just know that, because this is actually, and I'm actually going to get into the decline of, Nickelodeon Studios. Because, basically, Universal, who was owned by MCA at the time, they wanted stuff, filming there, constantly, 10 hours a day and everything. Yeah, because, they figured, hey, we paid for this, fancy studio, we want guests to see you guys filming, all the frickin' time, 10 hours a day.
God, that's insane.
And if anyone in production knows, it's that's just not feasible.
It's really, not good for the crew. It's not good for the actors.
Yeah, exactly. And the shows that they did have, it's it was, brief film cycles, it's just it didn't,
It didn't need 10 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly. So what Nickelodeon would do, at the end of the tour, they have like an auditions room, which was basically a mock game show called the Game Lab. So it's like it's basically like Double Dare, kind of like. It's like kid would be selected from the audience, sit in the inflatable pool, get slimed, stuff. Just do little, Nickelodeon stuff. Kids don't know the difference.
They don't.
I
would have been thrilled to sit in a pool and be slimed.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have lived for that. That would have been my shit.
Yeah, exactly. And they had like costuming, makeup departments and stuff. They had a kitchen where food, slime, and other stuff was made. Wear studio props and stuff. So it was a pretty fun tour. And sometimes you would see productions going on and stuff. So it was like going through a like production studio. So it was really nice. It really was nice. And kids, you could get slime. So that was pretty good. But Mary, do you with Disney MGM Studios, eventually, they didn't, eventually productions really stopped filming there. You want to guess why?
Why?
Well, first of all, remember that right to work state?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big part why. But Alan Goodman, who's a television producer, writer, I think he said it best. He said, "I can't think of another reason to be there. The weather stinks. Every single day I was dealing with thunderstorms. It's an inhospitable place to shoot film and TV shows. And there's not a tremendous talent pool to work with there."
Damn.
Yeah, basically just burned them. But he was right. He was right.
Yeah, he right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why, film, TV shows, they stopped filming there. It just wasn't feasible, unfortunately. Yeah. It just wasn't. And, it's just, it got to a point where also Nickelodeon was moving away from game shows and, they still film sitcoms and stuff, but they were moving away from game shows a lot. And,
devastating choice.
And they're also filming, they're also doing animation. Nicktoons, they really caught on.
So good.
Rugrats.
I can't wait to talk about some.
Oh, yeah. Ren and Stimpy was popular. Rugrats, Doug. And then eventually came Rocko's, Modern Life, Hey Arnold.
Love that show.
I know, they're all great. But, it's just like, it really wasn't feasible to film in Florida, especially back then. Like I said, there's really no talent there.
Damn. If you're from Florida and you have aspiring hopes and dreams, that wasn't meant towards you.
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. But I'm just saying, the main entertainment place, especially back then, was either, L.A.
For sure.
Or New York.
Yeah, and those two places still remain
of course.
On top.
Yeah, of course. But, basically it's right, because, back, basically early 2000s, you had less and less production, stuff filming there. And, eventually Nickelodeon got its own, studio in LA. It was Nickelodeon Sunset because it was studio on Sunset Drive.
Yeah. And
then eventually they got their own, they got another studio. It was Nickelodeon Animation Studio in Burbank. And they got that in like 2017. And that's,
that's still going, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still going, yeah. And then, of course, other shows, they would film on the Paramount lot. So, like, when I went to LA back in 2013, they were filming, several Nickelodeon shows on the Paramount lot, too. So, it's just, the economic, it just wasn't feasible. Especially,
yeah, it's fair.
Especially with the right to work thing.
It just wasn't working for them.
Exactly. Unions are necessary, and, they didn't want to deal with that.
Well, it's unnecessary to them, for sure.
Yeah, producers probably loved it because they didn't have to pay, like, union benefits and stuff.
Right.
And no regulations and stuff, So it's just like, it was destined to fail eventually.
You're right.
And plus, like, the whole aspect, and I really didn't mention this that much in our Universal Studios episode, but a constant theme with Universal Studios Florida was, like, see the stars, ride the movies. Eventually, as the 90s closed and the 2000s went on, the whole aspect of, seeing the stars and stuff, it kind of, like, went away. Mainly because, you were just writing the movies, because like in the early like 90s and everything, people were fascinated to see how movies were made and stuff.
Right.
But, as time went on, technology, internet and stuff, people were able to figure out like the secrets of Hollywood and stuff, DVD commentaries, special features on DVD.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't really.
It kind of lost its
luster. Yeah.
Yeah.
People knew the magic that was going on behind the scenes and everything. So, I mean, it was cool to see, but, audiences just, not audiences, get tourists, they just weren't really, interested in that anymore. Right. I mean, and if you still do have the itch to see, like, behind the scenes stuff, Universal Studios still has a tram tour in Hollywood, and, they still do studio tours, but, out in, out in West Coast and everything. Right. Yeah. So, like I said, Nickelodeon Studios shut its door, in, I believe...
2005?
Yeah, 2005. Nickelodeon Studios, they shut their door on April 30th, 2005. Sad day. Sad day. It was very, very sad. I keep saying
so sad.
But it was sad because it was like basically the end of an era.
And so when it closed, right? Yes. Where did that time capsule go?
Ah, yeah. I was getting ready to say that. So anyway, the time capsule, it was removed from, next to being the slime geyser and everything. And it actually went to Nickelodeon Suites Resort.
What?
Yeah, it did. They removed it in August of 2006, and they reburied it in Nickelodeon Suites Resort, which was also in Orlando. But when that hotel closed...
Oh, God. Nickelodeon's been through it.
They reburied it at the Nickelodeon Animation Studio in Burbank, California. And apparently it's still on track to be open on April 30th, 2042. So...
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah.
2042.
2042. Yes. Hopefully we'll still be kicking.
Okay. Well...
I'm
going to go with the millennial mindset that we're still only just one unprecedented time away from our untimely end. So we're doing great.
Yeah, we're doing great. And anyway, so what happened to Nickelodeon Studios? Basically, the building just sat abandoned for years and years. It became like abandoned buildings. They attract a lot of urban exploration and everything. Okay. So Adam the Woo, and you can find this video on YouTube.
That name sounds so familiar. Was that the guy who tried to go into
Yeah, Nickelodeon Studios. It was abandoned.
Yeah.
So he went in there.
Yeah, he was trespassing.
Yeah, he's trespassing. Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah, so he was able to get in there, and the lights were still on and stuff. A lot of the Nickelodeon stuff was still on, like the artwork and stuff, like old computers, old sets and stuff. It was still in there. And it's kind of scary. I guess security was very lacking that day.
Well, I just mean, how does he get in?
I don't know how he got in.
How did he figure that out? That's crazy.
I don't know, because I would just assume that the building would be locked.
Right.
And you can't get in, but he got in, and it was a very interesting video. Eventually he got banned from Universal, though. So.
Well, yeah, trespassing will do that. Exactly. Not his best move, perhaps.
Yeah, but you know what? He did the world a favor. Did he? I mean, I wanted to see what the old Nickelodeon Studios looked like.
Everpop Podcast does not condone trespassing, just to be clear.
Yeah. No. Do not trespass, okay? Trespassing is wrong, okay? It is wrong. Do not do that. We, like Mary said, we do not condone that at all.
But if you're going to, make sure you vlog it. If you're going to take your life into your own hands and make a silly goose choice, at least give us some good content.
Well, you know what? It's like it was the Blue Man Group venue for a while, but COVID basically put an end to that, and eventually, they just said, we're not opening back up anyway. And you can still see the Nickelodeon Studios building. They didn't shut it down, but that crazy way it was painted and stuff.
Yeah.
You like, if you've seen Nickelodeon Studios, if you've seen a picture of it, you know that it was very unique architecture and everything. You can still see the building. Obviously, there's a big gate, so you can't sneak in So don't even try it because remember, folks,
we don't condone trespassing.
Exactly. So, you just don't try it. But you can still see the building. And we'll actually post on Instagram. It's actually right near the Berlin Wall, near that piece of the Berlin Wall near.
Oh, really?
Yeah, near Hard Rock. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just I was just looking at it for a minute and I was just like, wow. Yeah. So so that's basically it for Nickelodeon Studios. It was quite the time to be alive. It really was.
Nickelodeon is still one of my. I mean, like you had to be there for Nickelodeon.
Yeah, you really did have to.
I don't think our kids have that same channel right now.
They don't.
And like that's a damn shame because Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, the Disney Channel, all of those were pretty formative for us.
Yeah, Mary, do you just think we're just getting old and we just can't relate anymore?
Yeah, I do think that. But also I think that maybe instead of YouTubers who just play Minecraft 24/7 and say stupid stuff, our kids should watch Nickelodeon. That's how I feel about it, Sean.
I mean, you know what? It's like, if I was a kid today, I'd probably still watch Nickelodeon. I'd probably be watching It's crazy how SpongeBob
I mean, our kids do watch SpongeBob.
Yeah, but it's just like I think you used to have like great shows, or maybe I'm just showing my age. I don't know.
I think we are because like I don't know about you, but like my friends and I, when we were young, we would get really, really pumped on the weekends for like the Disney movie channel.
Yeah.
Right? Like what Disney movie was going to be on?
Yeah.
Was it going to be Xenon? Was it going to be Smart House? Yeah. Or when it was on Nickelodeon, we'd be like, let's watch Double Dare. Let's, let's sit together and do this. And, or like when iCarly came out, like we were all into that. Or just so many good shows. Yeah. And we would watch them together and it was so much fun and it was relatable.
Yeah.
And it was like life lessons on those episodes.
Life lessons. Hot take, I never care for any of the Disney original movies.
Hot take. You and I have so much. Oh God.
I can't wait to discuss that.
Oh my God. I'm like literally. I am gonna save that energy for the Disney Channel, but oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
Hot take for sure, John.
I know. I never liked any of those movies.
Not one.
No.
You did not like Xenon?
Nope. I never liked any of those Disney Channel
original movies. You didn't like Smart House featuring Bewitched?
No, that movie was stupid.
You're stupid. Why would you say that?
I never liked any of those movies. Not one of them. I think the only one that I technically liked was maybe, what was it? I think it was Susie Q.
Susie Q is iconic. If you don't like Susie Q, I am prepared to fight you.
Okay, but technically, that wasn't a Disney Channel original movie. I found out. So
we'll save that for the Disney episode. But my God, Jonathan, we have so much to dive into there.
Okay.
But I just am saying, I think our kids would be better served with the Nickelodeon channel, like what we had when we were growing up.
Possibly.
It's just that we don't even have that now. Like we don't have cable. Yeah. Like I can still tell you, 28. Was the channel that I watched Nickelodeon on.
Yeah,
we had Time Warner Cable.
Yeah.
28. 27 was Cartoon Network, and 80 was Disney.
Yeah, sure was.
Like, that's burned into my head.
Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
And our kids are like, let's watch Preston.
I don't know what that is.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
Preston and Brianna?
I don't know what that is.
They're YouTubers.
Okay, I don't really know that many YouTubers.
Oh my God, John.
Okay, so what are we doing next week, Mary? Hold on, the Trixie shook. Okay, so that's it. Okay, Mary. So what are we doing next week? I guess we're not talking about Preston and who?
Brianna.
I don't know who those are.
Thank God we're not talking about that. No hate to them. It's just like my kids are obsessed.
Okay.
But next week, we're going to deep dive more into the channel that defined our childhood, Nickelodeon.
Ooh.
You guys should tune in.
Yeah.
We double dare you.
Ooh, nice pun. I like that.
Thanks for listening, guys.
I'm John.
I'm Mary.
And see you later.